Peaches gang, welcome back to my channel. This is Nicole Peaches with you. I'm back again with another banger video. How you guys doing? I am doing okay. I'm glad to be here with you on the screen. We are going to talk about how to handle triggers. I have been triggered many times in my life and I want to share this. It's time to tell you guys who I really am at the moment, who I was, and who I don't know if I can tell you how I will be, because that's like giving you my answer book, which I don't want to expose everything. In short, I understand triggers can be good, and you can be triggered in a good way, you can be triggered in a bad way. I feel like there are people who might disagree, but or they think that triggers are just all negative, but I don't think so. I'm an only child, so growing up, being with my single mother, I've been triggered many times in a good way, where my mom gives me presents, so I'm triggered to be like so happy, expecting a gift every time, when I come for midterm break. I just expect a present from her. She is still giving. She's that kind of a woman. So that's a trigger that was positive for me. The triggers that were bad are the ones that like it's natural for my mom to feel like I'm holding her back, because my biological father was not around. So having responsibilities to take care of me, I know she felt like I'm holding her back, because she's this type of person to adventure. She's a Libra, so she is perfectionist. She's a perfectionist. It's good to understand who your parents are. That aspect of feeling that my mother is seeing me as a hindrance, that actually made me feel like I'm not worthy, to be here. I just rebelled in the time when I was in primary, going to high school. So I indulged myself in bad habits, like choosing the wrong men. I mean, seriously, the wrong men. I can't blame my mom, because everything that we experience, it happens for our own good. And coming down to how I am right now, I'm aware. So how to handle being triggered is having the self-awareness of what made you get this, get this trigger, this feeling. You act rebellious, you want to act immoral, not listening, being disrespectful. I'm moving up and down, but the whole point is that being raised by a single mother, she had to sacrifice, and I got to realize my birth was not planned, and so she had to adopt. She had to adopt being a mother. She had to accept the choice that she made. And especially my biological father not being around, he's a Cancer, so him being emotional, not knowing how to love, because love doesn't keep records of wrongs. Love is kind, love is patient. So he wasn't that kind of person who can fight for love. He was that kind of a person who wanted someone to give the love, for them, but to say the truth, because the whole point of my brand is to create beauty by, speaking the truth, and by many other ways of creating beauty, and also to uplift the ones who might have been raised by single mothers. Need to understand that they are not perfect and they are trying. There's no need to rebel, or just like first is just being aware that this is her problem. perhaps she's shouting at you, she's beating you up, or she's embarrassing you in front of your friends. That I've been through all that. So if you have been through that before, there's no point of just revenging or acting up with anger. It's not gonna take you anywhere. Loving, being kind will take you somewhere. Being understanding, having that talk with your mother, because I also remember after all that negative, my mother used to come to my room and just apologize and be like so so remorseful about what she has done. So it was a process for her. What's the best way to tell you guys how to handle your triggers? By me expressing my experiences with you guys. I'm not ashamed how far I've come. The aspect of my biological father coming back to our lives, but then it all felt like it was pretense, because I know when a man loves, the man never gives up, tries his level best. Another trigger, for example, relationship, and then your boyfriend does something that triggers you, reminds you of what you've been through on your earlier relationship. You become paranoid. Perhaps he said that he's going to work, and then his phone is off and he doesn't pick up because his phone is off, and you think that like those triggers, don't take it lightly. Those triggers, you need to be aware of the triggers and you need to talk it out. So find that anchor who can hold you down, who can make you realize that you are a child of God, and you need to walk with your head held high. You can't be living a life that you are just like always paranoid. Don't that's the point of being humble. You're accepting things that you can't control. You just be humble and talk things out. Most of all, conversation is the key, and I've said it. So this is a whole emotional roller coaster. I've also uploaded a video about how to avoid emotional roller coasters. It's first by just like standing your ground and saying what you have to say, not coming out as being rude, not coming out as being like this maniac, crazy. Why is your phone off? Huh? I've seen my parents fight, like physically fight, because of having expectations. Both of them have the expectations, and one thing is not fulfilled, the other is not fulfilled. My biological father, was known to have like empty promises. His promises were really empty, but I wouldn't, because the Bible says honor your father and mother so you may live longer. He knows that I'm a good person, so me saying this is that it's the truth, and he knows that. But for those people who have been like, who have experienced domestic violence, I'm telling you, they are strong people, and they are people who don't advocate violence at all. They are peacemakers. They have to understand that this is a toxic thing that's happening, and they have to talk it out, or because that's the part of self, to be aware you're in a toxic relationship. That's one. There's still no understanding, then you need to part ways, because it can get worse. So that's what my parents did. They part ways when I was in primary, and he came back when I was like in campus, in that time of when I was in campus, and I was that person who wanted to to impress my parents, you know, so that I was now that person who wanted to bring the relationship back together. It triggered something within me because it didn't work. So it triggered that I was like a failure. I was, you know, this kind of person who just fails, who just becomes like a failure, just a failure. But in the real sense, it was a lesson. It was a lesson learned, because they were grown. They are still grown people, and they need to solve it themselves. The reason why I'm in this world, God only knows. Someone rebellious and not doing the right thing, the point where you become the person who fixes everything. You see yourself as an obligation to other people, not to yourself. I indulge myself in drugs, and now I hear there's a person who is in the state to I don't know the name. He wants to legalize marijuana. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be not pretty, because it really impairs judgment. It really makes you get paranoid, and you tend to get confused, you know, about life. And mind you, without it, you were on the right track, but it makes you numb. It makes you just move with life just without caring. And then without it, you get aggressive. When you are aware that this is a trigger, either bad or good, then you'll know how to handle it. I've said so much, and you know how our economy is just really tough right now in Kenya. You know, the minimum wage right now is 15,000. So we have to think broad. We have to think positive, so that positive things happen. I've said this before. You let no one make you feel like you are less than, because this triggers. Someone can just make you feel like you're not worthy to live, but you are. You are a child of God. So I'm gonna leave it there, and I hope you guys got something. You've learned something from me, parents, but they are all well. I wish them well, and many blessings, you know. That's all we have to do. Love each other. Easy. So bye. Love you.